Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Normal here, and in this video we'll do a comparison of the Realme U1 with the Realme 2 Pro. So these two devices have a lot of similarities in terms of the hardware being offered. So in this video we'll list out some of the differences between these two devices and where they differ and which is a better device to buy in this price segment. So talking about the specifications, both the devices have 6.3 inches Full HD Plus resolution display, and we have the Helio P70 octa-core chipset with 3 and 4GB RAM on the Realme U1, while we have the Snapdragon 660 octa-core chipset with 4, 6 and 8GB RAM and even 128GB of storage offered on the Realme 2 Pro. Now both the devices have Android 8.1 Oreo and ColorOS 5.2, and we have 3500 mAh capacity battery. So what are the differences between these two devices and which is the better device to buy among these two phones? So let's find out. First up, let's have a look at the design and build quality. You can see that the design aspect looks quite similar on both the phones. You can see the front panel is exactly the same display size, almost same height and width. Thickness is slightly lesser on the Realme U1 when compared to the Realme 2 Pro. Now you can see that both these devices are made of plastic, but it's a really good polycarbonate finishing. Multiple layers of finishing has been done and looks really good. Both have glossy finishing and looks identical in terms of design aspect. You can see the dual camera setup, the fingerprint scanner, and both have the Realme branding at the bottom. Both the phones have the power key on the right side, while we have the SIM tray and the volume keys on the left side. Both the devices have 3.5mm audio jack, micro USB charging slot, and the speaker unit at the bottom. So that's the design aspect. So there isn't much of a difference here. Only difference is that the thickness on the Realme 2 Pro is slightly higher than the Realme U1. So design and build quality, almost similar experience on both the phones. Now talking about the display. So both the phones have 6.3 inches Full HD Plus resolution display and 19.5:9 aspect ratio, and we have the water drop, or rather the dew drop notch, and the notch has the camera as well. So you can see that display quality also looks quite similar. Both are Full HD panels. The display is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass on both the phone, and you can see that we have set the brightness levels to 50% on both the phones right now, and you can see that the Realme 2 Pro display feels a bit more brighter than the Realme U1 display. So otherwise the display quality looks pretty good. You can see that viewing angles are exactly the same, no major difference in terms of the display performance. Now moving on to the software. So both the phones are powered by the Android 8.1, and we have the ColorOS on both the phones. We have a lot of features being offered and no major difference in terms of the features being offered on these two devices. So there's no difference in terms of the features being offered in the software aspect. Now moving on to the performance. So we have the Helio P70 octa-core chipset. It's a global debut on the Realme U1, coupled with either 3 or 4GB RAM. And here we have the Snapdragon 660 with 4, 6 and 8GB RAM on the Realme 2 Pro. So if you look at the benchmark score of these two devices, you can see that both are pretty good, and Helio P70 is a bit more powerful than the Snapdragon 660 on the Realme 2 Pro, but both are really good performers in this segment and does the job pretty well. Even in gaming experience, both are really good and both does a pretty good job in terms of playing heavy graphic rich games, and even we played Asphalt 9 and PUBG Mobile without any sort of issues. And the temperature on both the devices were also quite similar, around 42 to 43 degrees after intensive gaming. So both are exactly the same in terms of the performance. There is negligible difference here, even though the Helio P70 is a bit more powerful. Now moving on to the cameras. So this is one area where there is a major difference. Here we have a 13 and 2 megapixel camera combination with f-stop 2.2 aperture on the Realme U1, while we have the 16 and 2 megapixel dual camera on the Realme 2 Pro with f-stop 1.7 aperture. On the front panel, again there is a difference. We have the Realme 2 Pro, we have a 25 megapixel AI selfie camera with f-stop 2.0 aperture, and on the Realme 2 Pro we have a 16 megapixel f2.0 camera for selfies. So that's the difference. So in terms of the camera performance, that's where these two devices differ a lot, because in terms of daylight performance and rear camera performance, the Realme 2 Pro is the winner here, because it has a slightly superior camera. F-stop 1.7 aperture gives it better overall imaging abilities, and the details are pretty good. The colors are also slightly better, and overall clarity looks better on the Realme 2 Pro. And even in low light experience, we could see that the Realme 2 Pro definitely has an edge with lesser noise and more details. Now when it comes to selfie experience, that's where the Realme U1 takes the lead with 25 megapixel AI selfie camera. Does a pretty good job overall, and it's slightly better than the Realme 2 Pro. So Realme U1 is more of a selfie centric smartphone, so the front camera is better on the Realme U1 while the rear camera is better on the Realme 2 Pro. So that's the camera aspect of these two phones. Now finally talking about the battery life, both have 3500 mAh capacity battery, and again battery performance is quite similar. Even though both are powered by different chipsets, the battery performance looks quite similar on both the phones. So no major difference we could find in terms of the battery experience. So that was the detailed comparison of the Realme U1 with the Realme 2 Pro. So which is better device to buy? So Realme U1 is priced starting 11,999 for the 3GB RAM and 32GB storage, while the Realme 2 Pro is priced 13,999 for the 4GB RAM and 64GB storage. So if you are on a tight budget, definitely the Realme U1 is a great package overall. Good selfie experience, great performance, good gaming abilities and good display, and it's worthy package at 11,999. But if you can afford the 13,999 pricing, then we would definitely suggest you to go for the Realme 2 Pro, because it's a better overall package in terms of display and overall 4GB RAM and 64GB storage, and you also have the option of 6 and 8GB storage, and the rear camera performance is definitely better on the Realme 2 Pro. Even though the selfie camera performance was slightly better on the Realme U1, the front camera on the Realme 2 Pro is in far behind. So overall we feel the Realme 2 Pro is our choice in these two devices. So if you have the money to spend, 13,999 priced Realme 2 Pro is a better device to buy. So that is the comparison of the Realme U1 with the Realme 2 Pro. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.